Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inside Sports Talk with your host, Johanna-Rosalye. I am joined today by my amazing co-host, Ed Cole, and our special, amazing, wonderful guest. We had to bring her back this week to continue on from last week's show and talk some football and get into some NFL and get in the dirty in there. Aileen Carrasco, my favorite gal. How are you?
Ooh, thank you. And hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me back. You know, I love talking football, especially after this weekend. I felt like all of us were in communication because these games were just so intense. I brought my Cardinal. I was like, I need to wear something about football. I was like, the Cardinals, even though they're not one of the 4 teams left, but my heart still belongs with them. But I'm excited to talk football, guys.
But Aileen, don't you have your little buddy with you? Don't you have little Tom with you? There he is.
Right here.
The GOAT. Literally, it is a GOAT.
Tom the GOAT right here. He's going to join us in this segment.
That's great. He's so cute.
Perfect. We'll be talking Tom Brady. We'll be talking, GOAT. We'll be recapping the NFL. We'll have the happenings of this last weekend's game. Oh my gosh. So if you followed us on social media, if you follow Aileen or you follow me, we were just all over on it on Sunday because we just kept going back and forth. It was so much fun.
Did you cry? Be honest. Did you cry?
I did have a couple of tears. So, but I was still happy. It was just like, it was just like I told you guys, like, call 911 because I can't take this anymore at the end of it. So, but it was great to see them both finally in the playoffs. But it was just amazing. So it was just everything that I expected it to be and more.
It was super exciting, and I loved our memes that we kept going back and forth, and I was like, I was like, Joe is crying right now, poor little cheesehead, my poor sister head.
Oh, they were so funny. I just could not, there were some that were just like, I can just not help but laugh. Then there were some of those were a little bit hard to take, but they were just still funny. So we'll get into that here to lead off the show and to lead off the hour. We'll also get into some MLB, talk about what the news that's happening over the last few hours and the last few days. And then we'll get into towards the end of the show and talk some NBA for everyone, what's happening there as well. But let's go ahead and dive right in with NFL, the Bucks and the Packers, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Oh my gosh. Someone talk.
I know that was crazy. All three of us were texting back and forth. That was an incredible football game. How the Buccaneers, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers got out to such a quick lead in the first half. They had, by my count, at least 8 chunk plays in the first half. And also with that Scotty Miller touchdown pass, the 39-yard touchdown pass that Brady hit him with right before the half, which he also did earlier in the season when they went to Las Vegas. Him and Scotty Miller hooked up on another touchdown pass right before the half. So chunk plays are what Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. But then, ladies, did any of us think that he would throw 3 consecutive interceptions and almost derail their chances of hosting and playing in the Super Bowl? But that was what a crazy second half it was. Neither one of those guys played well in the second half. They were both horrendous in the second half. Aaron Rodgers, I believe he was like 4 for 11 in the fourth quarter. He didn't play well. Tom didn't play well. But in the end, it came down to Tampa's defense. Their defense is spectacular. They are an outstanding defense. Shaq Barrett had 3 sacks. Jason Pierre-Paul had 2 sacks of his own. So they got in Aaron Rodgers' face pretty much all afternoon long and made it hard for Aaron to do anything. I know he had almost 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, but when it came down to it, they couldn't convert in the red zone. And we'll go back and we'll always second guess Matt LaFleur for not going for it on 4th and 8 instead of kicking that field goal, the Mason Crosby field goal, and you don't trot your MVP out there to give him a chance to take you to the Super Bowl.
yeah, there's just so much to digest out of that game from Sunday. Just Tom Brady and the Bucks, Bruce Arians, and like everything that they had to do, they came out there, they did it. Yes, those three interceptions, those was just something else, because that's something I was not expecting to see at all whatsoever. That I almost fell over when I saw that. I was like, oh, and at that one, for a point, it was like, this is going to be just too close to call. But Brady, despite of what happened with those plays and a little bit of that struggle too, that they just brought everything out there, literally put everything out in the field. Yes, I was not, I was going for Aaron Rodgers, but yes, I was scared of Tom Brady coming out and doing exactly what he did. And he just didn't look back. Now Tom Brady's out in his, making his 10th Super Bowl appearance. And that's just amazing. It just speaks volumes to what he's able to do, the capacity and the type of player that he is, the quarterback that he is, and just keeps setting records and breaking records. At this point, I don't know how much longer he's going to have, he's going to play. Will this be it for Tom Brady? Who knows? It would be a bittersweet, victory if just going to the Super Bowl, going and achieving it now on the AFC and now at the AFC and now the NFC, and going against one of the best, Aaron Rodgers, and being able to prove, hey, I came out here, did it on, two separate conferences, and in his first year too, Ed and Aileen, his first year with the Tampa Bay and in that conference.
No, I love it. It's like if Tom Brady just picked a random team and it was like, hey, you want to go to the Super Bowl? All right, let's do it. I absolutely loved it. And it was amazing. That game, man, it seemed like the Super Bowl to me. Like seeing, the two goats, my little goats, the two goats, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, like that's a Super Bowl game a lot of us wanted to see. That first half, it was totally dominated from the Bucks. I had that laugh from Tom Brady and Gronk. I was like, oh, we got this, cheeseheads. We got this, right? And it was great. The defense did a tremendous job. They putting pressure on Rodgers, something that LA Rams could not do when we talked about, Aaron Donald being injured and how that affected a lot of it, because Aaron Rodgers was not pressured at all. He did his game. But now the Tampa Bay defense, tremendous job. And especially after the second half comes, and then that's when we get nervous because Tom Brady underthrows, overthrows. It seems like they can't catch it. Like our receivers have cheese on their hands and the ball is sliding out. And it's like, pero qué pasó? It's like I was so confident that first half, and now it's like, because you cannot throw 3 interceptions back to back against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Like they're going to come back. That gave them a little hope of life. Like, hey, we're back in this. We're back in this. But then again, I feel like a major, major part here was that Tom Brady was able to do his game. He was able to have a little bit more say and control in what he does. Like he threw that touchdown with 1 second left going into the first, ending that first half, and then they don't let Matt LaFleur doesn't let Aaron Rodgers make his own decisions. And it even says like he's in the press conference, that was like the saddest Aaron Rodgers I've ever seen. And, he's like, it was my call to make. And now it's like, okay, is he even going to be with the Packers after that? Now his future is questionable. He's still young enough, but it's like they're not going to let him play his game. And now we see how big of a difference that is. Like Tom Brady, now we're just questioning, was it Bill Belichick or was it him? And it's like now Bruce Arians is saying that he's letting, Tom Brady do his own game and be the coach and take over. And we are seeing that.
As great as a coach that Bill Belichick is, of course, he's arguably one of the best ever. Does it really show now that it was more Tom Brady in New England to bring them 6 championships? And now, like you said, Aileen, he goes to Tampa. He says, okay, where am I going on the map? Tampa, Florida. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Let's get out of Foxborough, Massachusetts. Let's go to Florida, right? No sales tax, beautiful weather down there. We've got a great organization. And him and Bruce Arians, of course, I'm sure they had their little dust-ups during the course of a season. And now this story came out that his parents both had the COVID-19 virus in the beginning of the season. So that was kind of weighing heavily on Tom Brady as well. So he's trying to deal with a brand new team, right? No preseason, pretty much barely no offseason as far as preparation. And now the news comes out that your parents have the COVID-19 virus. You're trying to deal with that, and you're trying to deal with trying to get a brand new system in place. And now they come 17 weeks later, they are representing the National Football Conference, and they're the first team to ever host and play in a Super Bowl. How great is that? What kind of story is that? That's a great story.
It's amazing. Obviously, the only Tom Brady could do it. He said that he's like, you know what? Let's make history right now and be the first team that makes it to the Super Bowl where they host the Super Bowl, which my Cardinals, I thought we were going to be the first ones to do it, guys. Let's not remember those times, but I thought it was going to be us. I thought that part of history was going to say Arizona Cardinals, but it says Tampa Bay Bucks, and I'm so excited because that had said Tampa Bay Bucks are going to win, and after he wins the Super Bowl, that he's going to retire. That's what I think.
Oh, that'd be the perfect way to go off into the sunset, right? Just like John Elway did. You win a Super Bowl and you go ahead and retire. That's the way to walk off.
You know, he took over AFC and now NFC. He's like, I'm the greatest. 10 Super Bowls. I don't have any more fingers. He's gonna be like.
but
right.
but guys, should Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs repeat, is this the passing of the torch from Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes, as he is now the heir? He's the successor. He is the GOAT, right? He would be the new GOAT. I guess the young version of the GOAT.
He's a baby. Yeah, he's
a kid.
Yeah, he is. He's a baby.
He's the kid. Yes.
It's a baby goat.
His fourth year in the league, and now he's going back to back. Like, he's doing amazing. He seriously just played through the Bills defense like it was nothing. And it's like they do said, like, don't bet against Mahomes. Even though I still had picked the Bills, I was like, I was still going with the odds, hoping somebody's got to pick him. I was like, let's do it. Why not? But I guess concussion did nothing to Mahomes. He did what he did. I mean, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. Now, I am a little nervous because the way that Tom Brady played that second half and did those 3 interceptions, can we not do that? And maybe we can win. I'm still going for the Bucks to win it all, though, but it's going to be a good game.
It should be.
Yeah, and then I want to touch a little more on Tom Brady before we move on. I do want to digest. I still can't digest it all, but still want to try and understand, and we can go ahead and pick apart the 4th down conversion controversy. We'll talk about that a little after that. But just to mention, the Bucks did not start off so hot, and they were having some trouble at the beginning and kind of finding their chemistry, and then just seeing how all that changed and progressed throughout the season for Tom Brady. And like you guys said, Aileen and Ed, with Tom Brady and Bruce Arians allowing him to go ahead and coach the team, something that he wasn't able really to do with Bruce Arians a whole lot. I also want to mention that he's not only he, but also Aaron are 2 of the top 3 players with most playoff passing touchdowns too. So there's just so much that's happened that's with these, not only Tom Brady, but also Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady has 80 touchdowns in the passing touchdowns in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is at 45. Will Aaron Rodgers go ahead and continue to play? Will he be able to get somewhere close to Tom Brady? Aaron Rodgers still has a lot of playing time, but is it possibly not going to be with the Packers? Being how you guys were talking about, you mentioned the press conference yesterday, so we'll go a little bit more into that too. So just how Tom Brady was able to come with the Bucks and accomplish everything that he did, just being again in his first year with the organization, and Bruce Arians as well, and Gronkowski, and Antonio Brown, and should I keep mentioning names?